Yes, it was. Rahul Bazamal, how you feeling, man?
The everyday struggle.
Yeah, let's do some background mic checks, man, because you echoing right now, and I hear a lot of background noise. If you running your YouTube thing, you might have to. That was mine. You see that? I gotta put that. Okay, that means you gotta put that on pause. If you got like the YouTube page running live while you're talking on the phone, you gotta put the YouTube thing on pause. You can still watch your chat room, but you know, you there? All right, let me give him a minute. Rahobat Isar, what it is, what it is, what it is. Sunday.
Mic check. We good?
Yeah, you got background noise though. Like air. I hear air like sound like you driving.
Yeah. AC.
Yeah, you breaking up real bad.
Okay, mic check.
I can hear you. You all right? Testing, say something.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
you
good.
echoing, you echoing. You coming through, but you echoing, man. You on your computer or you on your phone? Rahobat Ta. Ta Anu.
That Wadu.
Nah,
Oh,
Rahobat,
why is
man.
that?
I'm doing a mic check. Who can I hear?
Yo, you can hear
Echo
me,
gone?
bro?
Okay, I hear you good, Ta. You good. You coming through loud and clear. Tahuti, where you at, man?
Can you hear me?
Much better.
Okay, okay.
Much better. Much better. Much better. Stop being cheap, man. Get off them little Sony Walkman headphones. Get to some sound. All right.
Right?
All right. For the studio audience listening in. Now, don't the title of the show doesn't mean shit. All right. I just didn't know what to put. So without offending nobody or what's this with no TM names, I ain't got no time for this jazz because this is gonna get spicy with respectfulness. Kasusmul nus. All right, Tahim. So, we're gonna speak our minds, get certain subjects in the air, but God, this ain't Sound Nigga TV. So, you know, yeah, I say that affectionately. But I got a quick question for y'all, right quick before we get started. Y'all ready? It's for both of you.
I'm ready.
You ready, Tom?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, y'all sounding real good. I like that. Now, according to our calendar, what is today's Nuwaubian or Nuwaubian date? That's for
Our
both of
first hit
y'all.
would be 92, June 26, 1992. That'd be 118 for us.
La. No, not it. You, Tahuti. What is today, according to our culture, right? What is today's Nuwaubian or Nuwaubian date? What is it? Shanu.
I'm gonna
I
be
tune
honest, I
in to
don't know.
keep the date. You the one
That
keeping up with the date. So I'll be tuning
that's
in to you.
right. Now, okay, that's an excellent answer, Tahuti, because that's my point right there. That I said that if you ask the average Nuwaubian, whatever, today's date won't know it. The average one. So that means, you know what I mean? So it's a lot of us running around here, but you ask the average one who professed to be a Nuwaubian, whatever. We don't. So that's part of our culture. Now, you asked in the chat room, Todd, which was a very good question. You asked, what was the one thing all Nuwaubians and or Nuwaubians all have in common? One point, all united on. The only thing all are united on. And that's Hatab, culture. Our Lahaj language is a part of that. It's more than just one, but those little things add up to the one, what we are all have in common. And our language, our tongue is the main thing in our culture. So I said that to say, technically, by Nuwau-Pion law, right? I got the family guy right here, the blue one, that we're supposed to speak to each other in our own language. We have to do things in English, right? It's obvious. That's overstood. I ain't going that hard. What I'm saying is that that's the level that we have to get to help further break the spell of Leviathan on us by when we rapping about different things that we disagree about, we talking about it in the sixth ether devil's language. Lahaj. Tem Nuwau-Pion, right? Tem Yatib. That's not good. So that's the level where we have to get up with Nuwau-Pion and in our non-ether tones. Because I noticed when Nuwaubians and Nuwau-Pions speak in Nuwau-Pion, the disrespect goes out the window. I can't think of any curse words or any disrespectful way to talk to you. Be Nuwau-Pion. Why? Because I'm busy trying to put the sentence together just so you understand my point. You feel me? But in this slave master's language of English, which is now ours, which is part of our culture, right? Then that's the key. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be throwing a lot of Nuwau-Pion words out there that reminds us of our culture, so we don't go too far off track and get caught up in these white man's definitions. Because I don't give a damn. But when you address, I'm supposed to address you on a real serious subject, be by way of Nuwau-Pion. I don't care what script you speak. I'll run with them all, Joe. You ain't running nothing by me. Whether you at the new Nuwaubic Riskian script, Nubic, I don't care. Right? We can still communicate with each other in our language, whichever dialect you want to use. I put it to you like that there, because if I don't know the word, I got a real good language department up in Brooklyn with some real good brothers and sisters up there, teachers that can find the word, but we can communicate with each other in different tribal dialects. That's how it was right back then. So it is now. All right. So with that being said, y'all got anything y'all want to chime in on that, or are we good? We can proceed.
Yeah, the point that I was making as far as not being united, I was talking about the strategies as far as freeing the master and what we're doing. Like as far as right now, the call from the master is for us to unite in one accord. You know what I mean? And as
All
far
right, well,
as,
hold on a second. We'll get to that in a minute. Let me bring in the culture right quick and then kick it back to you in a second, right? All right, hold on, family. I got you. But let because that's something I like to do. I thought you okay, cool, I get you. But that still got something to do with tribal things, because regardless,
you're absolutely right on that. That you are absolutely right that we should, like I said, like when I tune in for the time, I use our calendars like in my legal work. Anything I file in the court, I usually check with you. You know what I mean? I pull up your pages and whatever you said, you know, the last date is. I know you're the timekeeper for our most modern calendar. You're the only one out
there. Please don't give me that title.
It's the truth. Truth is true, right? I'm just telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? And I told you the last time. I appreciate you for that, because I've been using you for the past like a year now. You've been doing that, and you use the most recent calendar.
Yeah, but let's get to it though.
Book calendar.
Let me answer that right like that there, and we could get in right quick. Rahubat Yasar Nafir Amun Reye Pananzamut Kawun Pa Talan Ashan Zamut Shalil Kabut Wahu Talan Zamut Shalil Shabut Talu Shamut Atanu Sabu At. All right, it is the 13th day of month 1, 3rd day of week 3, and the year is 27 AT. So now I don't care, like, you know what, we'll get into that later. But all right, Tuti, hang tough for a minute, right? Because I knew Todd be linking into what you be rapping about as well. So, you know, we're gonna blend it in. All right, I know Todd, go ahead. What explain what you was meaning about the unity you saw. Go ahead.
Yeah, like for instance, we have been told, like for the embassy has a part, the lawyer have a part, the domestic lawyer got a part, the foreign international lawyer got a part, and everybody do their part. But when you get into part, you just partitioned us. You know what I mean? We're not on one accord in that point. Everybody doing different things, and none of us are focusing together or collectively, and we're really filing documents wrong and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And that's being pointed out. So what my question was, what's the one thing that they are, or we all are in unison in? And that's, if you talk to everybody in charge, the one thing they tell you not to do or shy away from is that secure party route, or the only really only true route that you can get them out on. You know what I mean?
All right, hold on one second.
Everything else.
I got a question. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I need my notebook. I gotta write this question down so I don't forget. Hold on. All right. Testing 1, 2. I'm good.
Yeah, you good.
All right. Now, what documents have been filed wrong? That's the first question.
The last judgment that they had, this is what Shabuel and them was pointing out, and it said the lady from Trinidad went and got the actual document, and when you review why the last transaction or the last judgment coming out of Liberia was a negative one to us, or was turned down, it wasn't that you kind of lost a judgment or a ruling against you. It was saying that the documents filed wasn't the proper document for the procedure that you was asking for. That was done in error. You know what I mean? That was pointed out. The simple stuff like that kind of consistent.
All right, slow down. What was the name of the document?
I'd have to go look it up for you, but whatever the judgment that they got.
See, slow down. See, that's my point about facts, right? I'm not attacking you. Listen to me. What I'm saying.
No, I'm about to have you put it up because you know what it is already. You mentioned it.
I don't know. I don't know what document.
Yes, you did.
That got something to do with Liberia.
Hold on. What was the last judgment called from Liberia? Because you mentioned the names like ECOWAS or something like that.
That was what? I'm talking about the 2004 judgment. I'm talking. Oh yeah, you the one talking about where they confirmed that he was a Liberian citizen. You talking about that one?
No, I'm talking about the last judgment that they had here in 2016 or 20.
Only thing I got from that was that they did not deny him being a Liberian citizen. That's the only thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, hold on. Let's slow down. We too far ahead, though. We too far ahead. What I need to know is what proper documents were supposed to be filed or what wasn't filed. See, now that's what I mean by coming with the facts.
That was done, everything really, but that one in 2004.
I'm talking about, whoa, slow down. I'm talking about, you said the reason why the recent judgment, right, was lost or whatever was because of a certain document that was not filed, correct?
Because the document that was, the process of request, what we was claiming, what we was moving for wasn't done correctly.
That document was, okay, now, what is the correct way to do it? That's what I'm asking. Step one is to do what? This is how we correct things as a tribe, as a nation, so we don't keep making the same mistakes and then having to come on radio shows like this and keep saying so-and-so doing something wrong. What I'm about is solutions. So what I'm screaming is, okay, if you say it was wrong, I ain't got no problem with that. Tell me what to do and I'll go handle the business. I put it to you like that, though. And I'm good at handling business. Family, you know what I mean? I am. So what do I have to do? What am I supposed to do? What documents do I have to file? Tell me what to do step by step. Let's go.
Particular procedure, for that procedure, they would have to go and refile the whole claim again. The whole claim, whatever it was they was moving for, they have to follow those rules that the judge pointed out in the order. Why he denied it. He basically said
the judge didn't deny him being a citizen of Liberia. The judge didn't deny him that.
Exactly.
So why would I have to refile something when the judge didn't deny me I'm a citizen there?
Because the reason why he didn't act, or the court didn't tell the country or the embassy of Liberia to act a certain way for a reason, because the proper protocol wasn't followed. But he then went ahead and stated what you were supposed to do. You mentioned something in 2004, which they have documents that was done properly. You know what I mean? We've been had documents that were supposed to free him that we had, and after we got him in our hand, it wasn't executed appropriately.
By
You see what I'm
who?
saying? That's a different subject.
But
That's
by
different.
this all ties in, because I still don't understand since what you said, that the proper paperwork and documentation was filed correctly in 2004, then what is the problem in 2016? I don't understand.
The problem in 2016 is no one did what they were supposed to do with the documents. All the documents you got really up until this last motion. And then a lot of things changed. See, the government changed, and it changed several times.
The
So
only
now,
thing what seems to be not done right was that Liberia did not repatriate Dr. Malachi Z. York.
why
If
did they
everything
say
else was
that they didn't repatriate?
well,
That's what I'm
one
saying.
reason why is because they were bribed and taking money. That's one reason.
With the excuse they used not to do it was the fact
What
that
excuse Liberia used, I can't speak on behalf of them. Why they? All I know is that there were certain officials that were in place that were blocking that. Because now, if you said, according to what you just, I'm going by how you rolling. You said everything was filed correct. Okay, I ain't got no problem with that. That means that if everything was filed correct, that means that Liberia did not obey, right? The order that was from the ECOWAS court, which means that Liberia is at fault, because who passed the judgment that the U.S. was supposed to repatriate Dr. York? Wasn't that the ECOWAS court?
The ECOWAS court is what I'm saying. In the last judgment coming out, the ECOWAS court, what
I'm
they
talking
were
about in
saying
2004. I ain't talking about 2016 yet.
Okay, yeah, all right, that's something different.
2004, that's right. Now speak me up to 2016. What did the
now,
ECOWAS?
2004, that was done proper, and you got the release paper. You got that. But
right.
we were
So
supposed
now, my point is that the order of the court was not executed. Because if that's the case, he would be free and we wouldn't be sitting here talking. That order came down in 2004, right? You said all paperwork. So that means that Liberia is at fault, not the United Nuwau-Pion Nation.
But certain things were supposed to be, like, for instance,
certain thing was Liberia punked out and they ain't come get their man.
They punked out in 2016. They ain't punk out in 2004 is what I'm saying.
If they didn't punk out in 2004, he would be free now.
But
they
no
did punk out in 2004.
No one did what they were supposed to do with the
Who's the no one that didn't do? Name names. Who didn't do what they were supposed to do? Because the ball ain't in our court, fam. The ball is in their court because the judgment was passed. So that means that Liberia got the muscle. They the government. Yo.
Now,
who punked out from Liberia?
Let me tell you what I'm going from. I'm going from Deuce's video he had some time ago about
this ain't got nothing to do with him yet. Slow the roll. I ain't rapping about Deuce right now. I'm talking about what did Liberia punk out on? What do you know about it? This don't even include Deuce. Not now.
All right. So
I want to hear from Tahuti first, right? And then we get to him. But when I'm screaming, don't drop Deuce's name right now.
You're missing one point.
What's the point?
What we asked for in 2004 was given to us, and the document that we had.
Wait a minute, hold it, man. What we were asking for was the repatriation of our president. He is not amongst us now. It wasn't given to us. Stop that, man.
The document.
But go ahead. Let me.
The document that he had, the document that Deuce showed you in his video talking about 2004, we got this, and he showed you a document. That document could have freed Malachi Z. York from then if they done one thing. The reason why, no matter what you get, you asking for a repatriation of a Malachi Z. York and Dwight York is in jail. You're not asking for a repatriation of a Dwight York. Don't you see that that's they're not going to do that?
So how do you say? So wait a minute. So wait a minute. Hold up. So you saying the name on the document is wrong?
It's two different individuals. Dwight York.
So you saying who filled out the wrong paperwork? Liberia or the United Nuwau-Pion Nation? Because in other words, something ain't right. What you said. Well, let's take a break from that.
Listen to what's not right. This is what's not right.
I'm saying you said everything was filled out correctly in 2004, so everything was filled out right.
I see where you're going. Where you're going. Check this out. The document that they got in 2004 they granted what we asked for. We made a claim and we got granted with that document, but we did not execute the document properly once we received it.
What did we ask for? What did we ask for?
It wasn't repatriation at the time. It wasn't repatriation. It was to say that he's a diplomat and you're supposed to let him go. And they got that confirmation. But over here, you're supposed to execute the document. And no one did anything with it. We thought we won.
The document. Execute the document with who? I'm writing that down.
With the courts. With the people who got his body.
Execute
whoever's holding his body.
The documents.
Yes.
With which court?
Like the proper venue was supposed to be the Federal Claims Court in D.C., which is an Article 3 court with proper notice to the DOC and the DOJ and the court, the judge, giving him notice, the one who was over his federal case, just to give notice. And then you file your adverse claim.
So
in the Federal Claim Court, no one has done anything in the Federal Claim Court so far except for asthma, and that was denied because it wasn't a complete document, it wasn't a complete claim.
Now, with that being said, since that means Federal Claims Court, right? That means that he is not in quote U.S. AdMax for any state charges like child molestation, correct?
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Okay, but let me take a break with you. Now, Rahubat Tahuti, sorry for keeping you waiting, Zaman.
Rahubat.
All right. Got some things to wrap with. Oh, yeah. No, because Ta Amun is on point. You know what I'm saying? And things need to be clarified so people can get a basic understanding of what's going on. All right, so now, boom. I got some rough questions for you, right? I ain't trying to, let's set the record straight right now. I'm not trying to attack you, harm you, or insult you or your family in any way, shape, form, or fashion. All right. Now, with that being said, right, because I met you in person, right? You supported me down there at 5 Points. I'll never forget that. But not only that, I met you, your family, you had your daughter with you, you had another brother with you. So our vibe was cool in person. So I ain't the type of dude to be with you in person and then front and try to stun on you on a radio show. That ain't how I get down. You heard?
Right.
So with that being said, right, the question is, now, we was rapping about the other night about this form SF-181. Ta, hold on. I'm gonna come back to you on that because I know you got some words on that. So now when I was kicking with you down there in 5 Points, you said you were going through the process. Right? Now I don't whatever that means. So when I'm saying that, okay, have you completed the process, right, of filling out and getting the SF-140, if I'm saying it right, SF-1 form 181 completed as of this date?
Yes, I filled out the SF-181 form and sent it to the appropriate channels. Yes, I did that part. Now, the part about the process, that is not my process. I can't speak on that. That is Nanya Shabu-El. That's his stuff. You know what I mean? That's his process. I'm not going to speak on that. I can't speak on that. I'm not professed in that.
Right. Okay, so you are not with the Asakata Nation?
No. Okay. I'm with the United Nuwau-Pion Nation, the Moors.
Ding, 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 ding. There you go. Setting up 3 alarm fire already. Now, let me write this down. I have to write that down. United New. How you spell that? Nuwaubian?
Yep, that's correct. It's I dropped the website. You got the website. We have contact information, everything. You know what I mean?
Good. It's all good. But I got you live and in color. So what I'm screaming is, all right, who is your current chief?
My current chief?
Yes.
I have to speak on the current leadership that's free that I interact with, and that'll be Chief Asaru Unk Amun El.
Chief Asaru Unk
Amun El.
Okay, that's cool. Now, did y'all have a Zed festival this year?
Nope, we didn't have a Zed festival. We
I mean, as far as I'm talking about, I'm not talking about the Zed Festival like in Brooklyn. Let me rephrase. I'm talking about the Zed Festival that that shows the inauguration of your chief and your president. Or I'm going to say president, your chief. Do y'all have like a ceremony like that every year for y'all tribe?
No, I'm not aware of something like that. But I mean, we do recognize that the original first president was Dr. Malachi Z. York. Yeah.
Okay, and you realize that Dr. Malachi Z. York is not dead, yes?
Yep. And I do realize that he also put forth the Constitution, and in that Constitution that there were certain laws that state that if the president was ever incapacitated to where he could not perform his duties, that it will have to be passed on. He's still the president number one, but someone else has to keep the ball rolling. We got to have someone doing
Well, hold on, slow down. You a little too fast for me. Slow down. Where in the United Nuwau-Pion Nation of Moors Constitution is that what you just cited, so that the people out there in the family can reference that? Because I got that book. All right, where's that? What page? And give us a minute, family. Let me find. Yeah, let me find that. Hold on.
It shouldn't take me that long. I mean, that was one of my things that I remember noticing. Let's see. Our children is in here.
All right, I can't find my little hardback copy. I think I got one online. I hope I got one in my iBooks. Hold on. Let's see if I was smart enough to do that. If not, I'll just get it again later. Well, that's very, very important, because when you cite things from the Constitution, see, now you coming with crisp, hardcore facts, which can't be denied. I don't have it, but I know how to get it, fam. All right, what page you at in our Constitution? Just give me the page, and you, if you want to read it online, please read it. You know what I'm saying? So the family who tune in and who might not have one can get the clear understanding of what you're saying. That point is that if you said if the president is incapacitated, that the ball must keep rolling. And is that, where's that at in there?
All right, I'm in the table of contents. I have to find that. That's under our government body statute. I think 18.
Page 18.
No.
What's the page? I want you to read the statute in the law. Yeah, go ahead and read it.
Let me see.
Now, while we're on this here, family, this is in the chat room. This is what we have to do. Okay, go ahead. My fault. Go ahead.
Sorry, someone had called me, and my chief had tried to.
Yeah. Where we at in this Constitution, you know? Now, while you on that, they're looking for that. Yeah, for all family who has the United Nuwau-Pion Nation of Moors Constitution, this is what we have to know this, right? So when someone makes a claim, this, that, and the third, and can back it up with the facts, it has to be addressed on that. And so now we're dealing with each other according to our own constitutional laws, right? Which is very serious business. Now you really got to know what you're talking about. All right. And as long as you citing something from our constitutional law, nobody can get up in your face with that BS. You see what I'm saying? You gotta say, well, look, nah, according to this law right here, boom.
Let's have this bookmark, man. It'd be better. Yeah, you
gotta that would be a good bookmark. That would be a good one. Yeah, because I don't know. Like I said, I haven't read that book in so long, to be honest with you. It's like I said, there's so much in there. But nevertheless, that we have to know that point. That's crucial, because the reason why I say that is because for your chief, which is Chief Asaro Ankh Amun El, to say that he is now current or residing president, one, you would have to have that statute brought out to the forefront to the family, say based on this, and then 2, he would have to at least have a presidential or a tribal vote. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, unless he was appointed, then directly you follow that, and the only way he could be appointed directly is if he did it eye to eye, face to face, toe to toe, knee to knee, chest to chest, back to back, with the master teacher himself. Now, you got some people that say, well, he's not in prison. You got some people that say he is. I don't care what you do. If you say you were appointed, that has to be a face-to-face appointment because you have to be anointed. Appointed, anointed. Those words go in there. So now, one or two things.
I had to say this. I cannot speak on his behalf.
Appointment.
I can only speak as a citizen of the United Nuwau-Pion Nation of Moors.
But my point is that you should know how your president got in office. Did you vote him in office?
No, I did not get a chance to vote him in office.
Is there does he have a re-election process, or once you in, that's it, just one election? No, you don't have a re-election.
There is an election process that is only allowed to the citizens. You have to be a citizen of the nation in order to vote. That just makes sense.
No, not revolt. Just reaffirm.
No, to vote. To vote. You asked about.
No, I ain't trying to revolt on it, man. I'm just saying I want to know what electoral process did his tribe use? You are a member of his tribe, correct?
Correct.
Your tribe. Okay. I want to know what electoral process, right, did y'all use and how y'all govern yourselves, because that would make sense. Now, I don't have a problem with him.
He can answer that question more thoroughly. You know, I could give you contact information to.
No, I'm not gonna contact him at all, because basically you have to. I'm basing them based off what you would do. See, now I give you an example. If a person was to ask me, follow that. How is Dr. Malachi Z. York your president of your nation? This, that, this, that, this. Those are questions people ask us, the Nuwaupians, the tough questions all the time. How is Deuce Wood York your ambassador? How is this? How is that? How is Brooklyn Parole #1? Whoa, 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 whoa. Now I can do one or two things. I can go 1, F you, or 2, answer it intelligently, or 3, just say, hey, I don't know. I just rock with them like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really into the paperwork and all this other jazz. I just popped by the map. Since I read my first book, I said, that's my guy. And it's on ever since. It ain't looked back. You heard? Some people are really like that. And then some of us are more intelligent than others. You know what I mean? So depending on who you're talking to, you know what I mean, depends on what answer you get. That's all. All right, but now being that we have similar
voting
documents
process took place before me, and we still use the law to determine who will be the next Maku.
That's fine.
He went through the proper channels, and there was a voting process that took place prior before me. I'm just putting that out there.
It's all good. That's respected. So now that we got that straight, all right. So now, what is the Form SF-81, and how has it helped you?
Well, it helped me basically that according to the process, the reason why I went through it was to change from the misnomer black to the status of white. And because those are not racial groups, those are what we know as codes or color of codes. And once you know how to change that, like you let them know, because you have the right to self-determination and you have the right to self-identify, you let them know that, hey, you can't classify me as this debtor or black, which has no standing at law. You could let them know that you are white, and that white is not based on like a racial group. It's based on a status. So I changed my status from black to white.
Okay. All right. So now, with that being said, are y'all laws of the United Nuwau-Pion Nation of Moors based on the Constitution of the United Nuwau-Pion Nation of Moors that was written by Dr. Malachi Z. York?
Yes, we are using that exact one. I mean, we didn't make no changes to it. It's the same information. Okay. That's what we go by. I mean, that's according to law, that's what we have to go by.
It's all good because it's a constitution. It doesn't say anywhere that another tribe, right, can't use this as a prototype or a quote black print to establish their own tribe. Doesn't say that anywhere. But it also, we haven't found the law in the United Nuwau-Pion Nation, the Moors Constitution, that states that if Dr. Malachi Z. York is incapacitated, that boom, somebody else can take over. We haven't found that yet. So that's, you know what I'm saying? So until we find that, I don't know. Maybe we can get some help. Does anybody know where that statute is? Anybody? You, Moon, do you know? You heard of that? Moon probably on mute for a minute. Anybody? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's under the clan mothers.
What section is that?
Got to determine who replaces, and it says the chief. He'd always be chief once living. You know what I'm saying?
Right, hold on. Slow down. What page is that in the United Nuwau-Pion Nation of Moors Constitution book for a reference point so people can look this up, including myself?
Yeah, I'm trying to find mine. I think I'm in Flint, so mine probably still in Atlanta. I thought I got the blue Constitution book, but I don't have my UNN Constitution book.
That's the one I'm talking about. See, like I said,
I've read that so many times. I'm familiar with what he's saying, but he's incorrect as far as an election. I think it's the clan mothers supposed to appoint somebody temporarily, maybe the election go on after. You know what I'm saying? But it go through the clan mothers.
Go ahead, Tuti. What were you saying?
I was just repeating what he had said to confirm, so that way I can identify this statute. Okay,
clan mothers.
Yeah, it's in the back. It's in the back, like in the back last 1/3 of the book. You'll find, like, you know, the rules and regulation for administering to the tribe and the politics of the tribe as far as changes, how you install people in the office. It's in that part.
Now, I must admit, I am not thorough on this Constitution, but I'm about to get there. It's a lot. It's a lot in there. And when we're talking about things like this, you know, those who know this work, right? Yeah. Those who know this work. That's the book that we're supposed to use to free the master. That's the book that we're supposed to use. That's the book that we're supposed to unite as one government under. Whether you change the name or the book changed, it's the same Constitution. I was going to go there. Right. So now we don't. So some of us can come as Moors, some of us, whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. But the word Moor is something that we don't use. But I'm not tripping off people who do. What I'm basically is getting the overstanding that, okay, if you took our Constitution, right, ours meaning both of ours, us and yours, right, and you went off and you started your own tribe and your own thing, then you are responsible for your tribe, for the United Nuwau-Pion Nation of Moors. That's no longer Dr. Malachi Z. York's responsibility. That's your responsibility. You know what I'm saying? So now you got to deal with those things like that.
That's not necessarily true, because
it's not Dr. Malachi Z. York's responsibility. Why? Because hold on. He didn't.
Hold on.
Slow down. He didn't appoint what's his name? I got it written down. Chief Asaru Ankh Amun El Chief, and I don't know no clan mothers that did. So
I got you on that.
What's the? Give me the name of the clan mothers that appointed that man chief.
That's not the point. My point is.
It is the point. It is. Stop. You ducking the law again. Don't do that, man. I'll go point by point. We got to stick to the law.
I haven't made.
Hold on. We got to stick to the law. So the facts is straight. And when you slap me upside the head with the law, I can't dispute what you're saying. You said that the clan. I'm gonna let you get it in. I'm gonna let you get it in, and I'm gonna shut up. I'm saying you said the clan mothers have to vote you in. What clan mothers voted that man chief? That's all I want to know.
We're not disputing if he's a legitimate chief right now.
Yes,
I agree with you.
That no. Okay, so cool. So hold on.
Just addressing your point. Your point of that he's not affiliated. So what? This is what I'm saying. If he do a certain crime, they're not gonna pin that shit on him. They're gonna pin it on because Rico. They're gonna pin it on Doc.
No, they're not. They can't. They can't because if he filed the proper paperwork,
you gotta do that in the defense.
If he filed the proper paperwork to establish his own nation, and he did, Dr. Malachi Z. York's signature is not on his paperwork. He borrowed a constitution. If you want to say plagiarize, fine. I'm not gonna say that. I don't know what to say on it. What I'm saying is that he got the same formatted constitution, which is fine, which means that this constitution works and is legit. He took that and established his own nation without the consent, express written approval consent of Chief Black Thunderbird Eagle, Dr. Malachi Z. York. So he on his own. You can't
Peace,
just
brother.
Go ahead, bro. You ready?
I found it.
Okay. What page?
It's in the law, statute 19, section 3. It states power.
Statute 19. Hold on. Statute 19, section 3. What page again?
76.
When he quote this time, Moon, I'm gonna come back to you so you can finish your point, bro. My fault for cutting you off, man. But I'm gonna come back to you when he state this. Go ahead, brother. Statute 19, section 3, page what?
76.
At the bottom. Yeah. 76. All right, so I'll type that in the chat room later. All right, go ahead.
Power to try and judge master and matrion, section 3. In case of removal of the grand master or grand matrion or of his or her death, registration or inability to discharge the powers and duties of the said officer, the grand master and grand matrion will be immediately replaced by someone who is capable. The governing body of the United Nuwau-Pion Nation of Moors will make all final decisions.
This says the government will make all final decisions. What about the clan mothers?
That's the governing body.
I don't see anything here about clan mothers that it said
being the governing body. Where does it say the clan mothers are the governing body in the Constitution? I gotta get these little questions out, man.
Go to the beginning part where it style our government, when it styles the whole government, the whole office and everything set up. It's in there.
Okay, I got you. No, I'm just using that because I got it on PDF, but I can't find it right now, and I don't feel like going through all that. The share screen stuff trips me out, man. All right, cool. So now we got that straight. It says someone who is capable, right? The government body will make a what? It says the government body will make a decision.
All
right,
final decisions. All
final decisions. Now, and that is done by the clan mothers. I don't know what to do about the Council of 24 Elders on this one.
The clan mothers make up the governing body, just to let you know. Because
I got you. Oh, so it's no 24 Council of Elders involved in this.
No,
not that I see.
No, just clan mothers, plural.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all good. See now,
and the elected officials. And the elected officials.
And elected officials. That might be your Council of 24 Elders. Elected officials.
And I think it's 19. I think Mustafa Workman put that in there. I think it's 19. But it's in the book, and it clearly states how our government supposed to operate.
I'm sorry. He also says 9 to 13 clan mothers. 9 to 13 clan mothers. Now, the reason why I say that is because to validate yourself as a chief, I'm gonna come back to you, Tahuti, in 1 second. You have to have the vote of the clan mothers, and the elected officials if the clan mothers set it up like that. So who are the 9 to 13 clan mothers? To anybody making a chief, I'm sorry, who say they supersede our nation. Follow that now. When you go and start your own, we don't need no 9 to clan to 13 mothers to vote you in office, because you went off and started your own. It don't have nothing to do with the United Nuwau-Pion Nation Embassy or the United Nuwau-Pion Nation. There's a difference between the United Nuwau-Pion Nation and the United Nuwau-Pion Nation of Moors. That's what I want to say. Despite that both nations might use the same constitution, however, different presidents reside over each nation. So anybody who uses that constitution and starts their own nation based on whatever, they are responsible for their own tribe and own nation as a chief. Got it? That's what I want to separate.
I have a question.
Hold on. All right, hold on.
You said that y'all have a constitution and y'all using the constitution. Y'all have an ambassador, but y'all don't have a female ambassador, and that's in the constitution that every person that has an ambassador is supposed to also have a female ambassador. That way there is an equal power That way there's no unbalancement in the governmental body. That's why I don't understand.
That's true. I'll put it to you like this. I nominate Hatshepsut out of Brooklyn, New York to be our female ambassador. Just going on the record to do that. I could do that because that's my tribe.
I
nominate her.
I can second that, and then she'll be able to act.
Now, as far as the vote being approved in her for being that is not going down today on this phone call, but I nominate Hatshepsut to be a female ambassador to satisfy that status quo of the law. You feel me? That's
they also have to occupy the same place. They not like live together, but they have to be in the same state. That way,
it's all good. We can nominate. We nominate that Hatshepsut and Ambassador Ducey will preside in the same state, with the exception of travel domestically and internationally. How's that?
That sounds good. Do you also know?
I can only nominate it because in other words, I'm about making corrections to the chains of what people see as fault in our Constitution, that we are not filling in the blanks with our law. Okay, cool. I'm about solutions. We get to that point where we can do that and we can grow. You feel me? But hold on, Tahuti, 1 second. I'm gonna come back to you. Todd, go ahead, finish your point, man. I hope you ain't forget it, man. Because I forgot. Because I forgot it, man.
Nah, I was stating that if they do certain things under that, whether somebody else signed did what, they would, the government would procure charges on the master teacher. You know what I'm saying? That's how RICO act. That was one of the main reasons why they switched the name.
But according to international law, they can't do that.
That's international law, but you're not dealing with international law. That Constitution deals with international law. That's
dealing with international law, because international law is where we go and get into the Geneva Conventions, don't it? And what else?
But that's not going to stop them from charging him. That's what I'm saying. That's not going to stop the federal government from making.
He ain't like Larry Hoover or nothing, man. Every time a gangster disciple do something. Hold on, Tootie, I'm gonna come to you. I got when you said
I'm letting you know that Chief Maku, the brother Asaru, would like to come in. The president, he was asking, could you send him an invite? He can speak for himself.
Oh yeah, we'd love to do that.
Yeah, I got some questions.
All right, but remember, all right, so now we gotta let each other talk. I'm gonna let him talk. I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna let whoever talk, because I know I've been a little bit hyped, but things have got to be cleared up. You feel me? Now, before I send him a link right quick, I'm gonna send him a link in a second. So who do you had something else?
Not at the moment. Go ahead.
All right, go ahead, Todd. Go ahead. Finish your point.
Yeah, I was just saying that when something is done in that name, it can affect the master teacher's status. It can. You know what I'm saying? And they can charge. We can defend it, but they can't charge. They can't make claims. They can't add shit on. You know what I mean? You just have to defend it, and it'll be another situation.
What's his email, Tahuti? Tahuti.
I think he probably went and was talking to her. They're gonna come in again.
Hey, my bad. I had muted and I dropped it in the chat. I dropped it in the. See it?
I don't see it. No, you see it, Ty?
No, I don't see it. The last thing I see is somebody Mutalib Nun Atumrayan.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna email it to you. All right.
Gotta work. Mutalib says the female. Let me see what's up with the chat room. He says the female ambassador was one of Baba's wives at the time. She is still our female ambassador. Yeah, I think she's from Trinidad, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean? So I think we do have a female ambassador. But just in case if we don't, I still nominate Hatshepsut with the quickness. All right, Samuel Ty, Rahobat Mustafa. Ty, I knew you in the building. Yeah, he says.
I want to ask if they're using. I want to ask if they're using our Constitution.
You breaking up?
What have they done? Yeah, I want to know what have they done. Being that they're using our Constitution, what have they done to free the master teacher And if they have not done anything, why not?
That's a question you could say for the chief. Well, no, I don't know. Tahu, do you want to answer that question? I won't speak. Yeah, you're right. Tahu, do you want to answer that, or you want to let your chief answer that?
I could partially answer it, but I'll let him fill in the blanks too. So far, you know, we got a lot of things going. You know, we got we have land in Temple, Georgia, that we working on, and we're using the Constitution as our form of governmental body that's necessary for when we have, you know what I mean, like when we go national, when we go to that next level, we got to be a governmental body. That is vitally important for a group of, you know, a tribe of people. So that's what we're using. We have to use that in order to have a governmental body. You have to have a constitution.
So do you breaking up?
My question to everybody
Hold on,
is,
Tom. He didn't finish.
My bad. I was done. I had stopped talking. That's all I was saying.
Okay.
You got to have a constitution in order to have a governmental body. So we're using the Constitution to structure the government with. It's like our instructions. This is how you do it, and this is, you can't stray from this. This is how, you know what I mean, the person's powers and all that.
That backs up what I'm saying. That Chief Osaru Ankh-El is using the United Nuwau-Pion Nation of War's 1992 Constitution as a format for his own nation. That don't mean he with us, but he's responsible for his own tribe. You might see that. I put it to you like this.
Well, I emailed him to you. I emailed his address to you just to let you know.
Okay, hold on. All right, thank you. I'm saying that I don't see him being recognized by any Nuwau-Pion. Now he might be a brother or a sister tribe, for lack of a better word. He could be a brother tribe. But
he has been recognized by the York family. He's recognized by the, one of the
drop a name.
One of the sons. I can't remember his name. He can tell you better than I can. That's all I can say.
Yeah, because
we talking about Ibrahim and Bodie. He's talking about Ibrahim and Fred Bodie.
Fred Bodie. Bodie's a York.
It's a
Ibrahim.
I know like Ibrahim. Ibrahim showed him love, but Ibrahim is not the authoritative word though. Ibrahim showed him love because I got respect for Ibrahim, so I wouldn't come at him like that. You know, Ibrahim. Yeah, we go back. I got respect for that brother right there. Yeah, I mean Ibrahim is solid. So I might disagree with him, but I wouldn't just trying to like. Nah, not with him. If he was Jake, it'd be something different. But, all right.
Don't forget too that Dr. Ali Muhammad and Arna or ISIS used the same constitution, just rewrote it in his own form.
You mean brother Ali Muhammad? He ain't no doctor because he running his mouth talking about he could translate the Quran. He's the best Arabic scholar, and the nigga ain't translated the Quran for the Nation of Islam yet. That would be his doctorate thesis. He is not a doctor. He is brother Ali Muhammad. Dr. My ass. He gonna have to show and prove to me.
Solomon.
His name
is Solomon York. Solomon York.
Solomon York. I know Solomon York. Solomon and Ibrahim is two different people. Solomon York ain't got no juice. I grew up with Solomon. Not grew up with him like that, but he was close enough to know that I got respect for him too. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about his relationships with Tariq or Jake. That's his business. But how I view him is different. You see what I'm saying? So I view him on his merits, how he came to me. Solomon ain't never came to me with no bullshit. So we all good. So Solomon ain't, with all due respect to him, don't have no juice to say who's who or what's what. Though Solomon showed him love. I ain't knocking that. He ain't got the juice. But it's all respectful. A sorrow. 3 times 3 at Gmail. All right. You see what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with that. But my point is that he's responsible for his own nation. Chief Osaru Ankh-El, he's responsible for people. He's responsible for people's souls and the guidance of his tribe and his nation. I don't have a problem with that. Not at all. Can he do it is the question. Time is going to tell. All right. His link is on. All right, Tom, on you back in, man. Go ahead. What was you saying now?
I wanted to really point out, like you were saying, you brought a good point up. Who did Doc appoint to be the next chief after him? Because he did appoint someone.
All right, hold on, Tom. Chief came in real quick. All right, we're gonna greet you with Rahul back out of respect. You feel me? Chief Arsaru Ankh Amun El, correct?
Route back. Can I be heard?
Yes, you can be heard very clearly.
Loud and clear.
Route back. Greetings to the room. How's everybody doing?
Oh, we amped today, man.
Okay.
Master
We good,
Chief's
we good.
fight is going down.
I
what's
kind
up?
of caught like the last 5 minutes of the back and forth on what's what. So now that I'm here, we can kind of, I guess, get to the bottom of it, so we can kind of get it from the horse's mouth without, because there's a lot of speculation, there's a lot of ignorance. So I guess this is the best way to kind of get that cleared up, so everybody can know exactly what's up if they don't know, so we can
We're about to
possibly
find
move
out.
forward if that's the agenda. Because I keep hearing people
Yes,
say they
it's
want to work
definitely the
together
agenda.
and move forward, but that end up not being what the bottom line is. So I guess we can open up the floor to whoever want to ask the first question, and we can go forward from there.
All right. Now, according to our Constitution, right, as Tahuti was breaking down and explaining, we're supposed to have 9 to 13 clan mothers, right, that would appoint a successor of Dr. Malachi York. Now, one, for me, from my perspective, he said there will be no successor of him. That's it. But it's okay, right? Now, that doesn't mean I'm not putting words in your mouth, but saying who you say you are. You feel me? I'm just giving you a perspective that other people, other tribes are coming from. All right. So, quote, as president of your nation, right? Who were the 9 or 13 clan mothers that appointed you?
Okay, so we're going to talk about the government. Let's start from the beginning, because in order for right knowledge to be logical and reasoned out, it has to start in chronological order. So let's put some context to it. Let's go back to 2011, before there was a so-called embassy, before there was a so-called Deuce of York, before there was a so-called UNN, because all these things came after the United Nuwau-Pion Nation of Moors was reestablished. So we have to put that in context first to figure out how we got to that point before we got to the question about the clan mothers. Now, in 2011, before everybody ran to New York or moved to New York or decided to get with that program that was happening in New York, everybody was in Georgia, right there on Decatur, the building that I was in there. It's a lot of elders that I know. My family is part of the community, been part of the community. People know my family, my blood family. Was close with the York family because they was all in Eden together. Long story short, 2011, there was a brother by the name of Vazario who was supposed to be one of y'all elders now up in New York. His wife, him and his wife wanted to get the information that I was putting together for the nation that was supposed to help the community and Dr. York at the time. Because at that time, you know, it's always been a little divisive, you know, who has what privilege, who has this. And so people was trying to have like a pecking order. So a lot of stuff was done in 2011 and it was put forth to the family. This is at the time when the sisters was going into groups to Colorado, etc. And so everybody was excited, like this is what we need. The brother Sorrow put something together that we haven't seen before. We feel this is going to help the master teacher and the nation. So I was on a conference call with his sister. Don't know which sister it was, or no, I'm sorry, his daughter. I don't know which daughter it was. You know, it's many years ago. People changing their names. All I know is it was his daughter and the sisters at that time in 2011 who was going to Colorado. We was on a conference call, and so what they wanted, my goal was to get the information to Chief so that he can make an informed decision on what to do next. Because at this time there was only one community, if you will. There was no what people call it a split. And so the information was given to them. We was on the conference call, and then all of a sudden, the next question came. Like maybe a week later, they wanted me to give all the sensitive information that I had put together on behalf of the nation to them. They wanted originals. They didn't want copies. They wanted originals. I wasn't agreeable to giving the originals, but I was agreeable to giving copies. But they didn't want the copies. They wanted all the original archetype information. So this is where the line started to be drawn in the sand. And so when I didn't agree to give them all of the original documents, they stopped communication, and then it kind of went dead. And when I mean went dead, I mean there was no more communication with me. There was no more talk of helping the master teacher in the form of with the body politic that he put in place, which was the UNNM, which is the only nation and tribe that he's over. Even though people are creating new stuff now, like UNN, the UNNM Constitution is something that went from pen to paper from his hand, and this is how he established this. But nobody picked it up. Nobody knew what to do. Everybody was waiting on Chief, which is how it usually goes. People waiting on Chief because they don't really necessarily know or they don't want to get ahead of the curve. But what I kept trying to tell them was Dr. York is incarcerated. So obviously he can't move at the same capacity as he could move if he was free. So it's up to us to figure out what to do. And it ain't complicated because it's in black and white. But nobody wanted to do that. They said, well, Pop said, he would let us know when to do this. Or Pop said, everything it was a new high defense town at that time. It was Pop said. And so everybody was under the belief Pop said. I understand he said, don't believe me, check it out. But if somebody say Pop said, and you don't agree with what the conversation is that Pop said something, then all of a sudden you're coined as this malicious individual who's trying to do your own thing, which was not the case with the UNNM because we was working with them, but they didn't want to work with us after we wouldn't release the information that they said out of their own mouth was going to help the master teacher. So they was uninterested. So some years went by, maybe 3 years went by, and then the government was growing. We have land, we building a community on the land, and now the same group of people who was not interested in getting the information to the master teacher at that time, now they're interested in taking the false message to them under a prison phone call, saying things like, I said that Malachi appointed me, which I've never said, saying that I said I met Malachi, which I've never said. So there's a lot of people saying what I was saying, but I wasn't saying it. And then people just believed it. Now, granted, we have an 800 number that's been working for over 5 years. A lot of people called in. In fact, we just got a call yesterday from some brothers out in Africa that's a part of the UNN when they wanted to know what we was planning to do about this thing that was happening with July 9th and the Discovery Channel, etc. So that was a long conversation as well. So people knew where we were and how to get in contact with us, but some people wasn't interested because they had their own agenda. And the agenda was to stop any competent leadership from rising. And it didn't matter what they had to do it. So what they did was they took this half phone call, packaged it with a video with words to tell people what to think, to make it seem like I was this guy that just popped up and somehow lied to the masses on how we was going to reestablish the nation. My whole thing was, if we're going to do it, we need to do it right. And nobody wanted to do it the right way. Everybody had an idea of what to do. And now that we are here and we're doing it, now the confusion is getting more amped up because people just don't know. Who is the guy? Where did he come from? Is he an agent? Is he a devil? Is he this? Is he that? So my numbers, I've always been reachable. I've always been approachable. I've never been on this, holier than thou. I'm on a high horse and I got to come down and mingle with the people. That's never been my personality. But for whatever reason, people was uninterested in using the information in which Dr. York put forward, not only in the form of the law, which is the Constitution, which they were not using. The only reason why the UNN embassy popped up is because people was calling them asking, how do I join the nation? At that time, they kept saying, oh, well, you just got to read Patarak. Oh, you just got to read Actual Fact. They're like, yeah, I got those and I'm doing that, but how do I join the nation? Because they didn't have anything. So then they started creating the bug. They kept, well, this brother over here, he's doing the UNNM. So they, oh, well, Pop's not with that. Don't do that. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But they didn't have nothing to offer. So now they have a website, kind of like a store, where you can go in there and you can drop an ID and some credentials in a shopping cart and press buy, and all of a sudden you're supposed to be a part of some nation and some tribe. And that's not how it works. And for somebody who claims that they're an ambassador, which is out of order based on the Constitution, because one, there is no state. They don't even have a capital. They don't have land here in America. It's so much stuff that they didn't did wrong, but it's all about what looks good as opposed to what is right. So as long as people are putting on costumes and uniforms and taking selfies and raising flags in their background, this appears that this is growth. And this is not growth. This is a false appearance of growth. There is a such thing as real growth, and Pops gave it to us how to do it the right way. But nobody wanted to do it. And even now, they could have, the same way Mario and his lawyer girlfriend took the time and energy to create this false narrative that I did something malicious by having this phone call and cornering Pops and getting him. Obviously, if they're going to tell him that I said he appointed me chief and he know he didn't do that, and obviously if they're going to say that this guy is doing something that they feel I shouldn't be doing and trying to make it seem like I'm using Dr. York's name in order to do it, of course he's going to say I don't know the brother because he don't. Of course he's going to say I didn't appoint him because he didn't. So what is left other than the false narrative it's called propaganda. So they didn't have to bring that message to him because I've never stated that. So the whole thing was to get people to stop linking up with the UNNM, because it's always been about power with these individuals, those who know who they are, who power hungry and lusting over it, because there was a hole that needed to be filled. And I'm not somebody that just popped up and started making false claims and lied to the people to get them to be convinced that this is what we need to do. I led by hard work, determination, and by example. And people who saw that example wanted to be a part of that. And to this day, we haven't had any problems internally. There's no videos or no people popping out, oh, Chief did this or Chief did that, or the UNNM is not about nation building. No, that's not the narrative. There's plenty of people who left the UNN that's over here. There's plenty of people that left the more science temples and different organizations to come where they needed to be. Though, especially those who were saying it was about what Dr. York left for us as a nation. See, everybody's waiting on Doc. They want him to get out so he can ask some more questions. 30 years of teaching and they act like they still don't know what to do. So I'm saying this. If we're gonna say that we're supposed to be a government, then there's only one way to do it. And he only touched pen to paper on one type of government, which was the UNNM. So when people, to get back to the question about the clan mothers, at the time when Dr. York went to jail, there was no UNNM government. None of the positions was filled. Nobody can name a vice president. Nobody can name an attorney general. Nobody can name clan mothers. Nobody can name any of those things that's in this Constitution when Dr. York went to jail. And they still didn't have it in place prior to us putting it back in place. So yes, now we do have clan mothers, which are nothing but secretarial seats, which is outlined in the Constitution. But because they want to touch on this tribal thing so much, they think that, oh, because he said clan mothers, this means it must be a clan and some woman, because the term mother is there, to appoint somebody to do something. The governmental body of the UNNM on the tribal side is referred to as clan mothers, and on the national side is referred to as secretarial seats, and they're one and the same. But it's not my job to teach outsiders how the government should be ran. If they wanted to know, one, they could have studied the Constitution for themselves, which they didn't. That's why they don't even know their own law, claiming that Dr. York is the master teacher and he gave us our right to be autonomous, but they don't know the law that pertains to them. In fact, they don't even know the American law. They don't know how many constitutional rights they have. They don't know how to put in proper grievances. And so you got people who got a gangster mentality, thinking that they could just come in and say, oh, you know what? I think today I want to be the ambassador of the UNN. And then create some fake paperwork to try to use this as a reason how you got the authority. No paperwork can give you the authority to be ambassador outside of what's already outlined in the law. And Dr. York wasn't around to appoint or select anybody because he didn't know that he was going to jail. Now, if he knew he was going to jail, obviously he would have had something in place, but he didn't.
All right,
so here we are now.
All right, that's cool. So now in 2011, you're saying that there were no clan mothers, no positions of authority, correct?
Not under UNNM.
Right.
No. Even right now they don't. Even under the UNN, which is not listed publicly like any other established government, you can't see the hierarchy. They have one guy who's saying he's the ambassador, Damian Pryor, who's also known as York now, Deuce of York, who's saying that he's the ambassador, and they created this website where they got a shopping cart to sell identification, but there's no
What
structure.
I
But there's
what
no
I
structure
what
there to
I
show who
it's
is
all good.
the government body. So it's
It's
not
all
me
good.
trying to make fun. It's the fact that they don't even have a list today. They don't have a vice president.
That's
They don't
don't
have an
worry about
attorney
all that.
general.
That's fine.
They don't have the secretarial seats in place. So
That's
even
fine
under their
too.
own government, they don't. Well, it is fine, but we're talking about
Well,
the
what I'm
UNNM as
asking
it
you,
pertains.
no, I'm just talking about you. How did you become chief? Is what I'm asking.
The
How did you
people
become a
selected me
chief?
at the people
Which
selected me as
people?
chief. The people of
Which
the
people?
UNNM.
Now, so you had a
Those people.
presidential vote. So you had a presidential vote.
Absolutely.
You said selected. Okay, what date was your presidential vote?
Go to UNNM.org, and all that information is listed publicly.
So
If you really want
UNNM.
to, if you really want to know, everything happened in 2011. Everything is there.
Did you
The
have an
people from
inauguration? Did you have an inauguration?
you mean like the United
Like
States
sworn in
government?
office? No, like your tribe would do. I'm talking about you as far as your tribe only. I ain't got time for all this other jazz at other governments, man, because y'all know more than I do. I give you that. You know what I mean? And you made good points that I should know my constitution and I should know law. True indeed. What I'm asking you is, according to your culture, what did you do? How did you celebrate as a chief taking office and responsibility for your tribe? That's what I'm asking.
By keep doing the work. There was no celebration like confetti flying. It was
Mm-hmm.
this is what the people wanted. This is what the people selected. Not because I was somebody special, not because I was somebody trying to fill pop shoes. But I think anybody trying to fill another man's shoes, regardless of who they are, is already deceived themselves. Just like there can never be
So
a Dr. York, I understand there can never be another Asaru. So all I did was do the work. People saw the example that I was doing, spending my own money, toiling with my own labor, leading by example, and that's what made them the same way with Dr. York. There was no inauguration for Dr. York to be the president of the UNNM. It was just the people selected him because he was the most qualified that was doing the work. And they agreed that he
all
was the most intelligent to help. And it was no different. As he
right. Okay.
said, everybody is doing what they are appointed by nature to do. So if you're doing nothing, then you've been appointed to do nothing. And if you're doing something, then you've been appointed to do something. Now, like he said, if you mean well, it'll come out in the wash. But if you don't mean well, that'll also come out in the wash. And here we are, almost 8 years later, we still
Mm-hmm.
here, no scandals, and everybody else who was there prior or in that time frame is all fell off. Websites gone, stores closed. People who had all these fantastic ideas, they've been here. One thing I noticed that we never did as the UNNM or as the Nuwau-Pion Nation of Moors is we never went backwards. There was always a forward progression.
All right,
And
I'm
if you
on
look
your
at what's happened,
website. Oh, good. Yeah, I'm on your website right now. Where can I find out where you had your presidential election at? Where that's at? That's
it's
important to me because you were voted in, and I need the people need to know that you were voted in as a chief by your tribal people. You follow that? People need to know that.
I think they already know that. The problem that the
Everybody, a
problem
lot of people, I'm talking about people who listening to the show don't know that.
no, what I'm saying is those who are familiar with the UNNM, because I don't
Right?
think
They
there
know
is.
that.
I
They know
don't
they
think.
voted you in, but I'm talking about the
No,
average
no.
person who's
What
don't know.
I'm saying, brother, I'm not talking
I got
about
your
those that's
music.
in the nation with us. I'm saying anybody who's been in the Nuwaubian for more than a day knows about the UNNM. I'm not talking about the new souls that's being converted under the new UNN administration. I'm
I'm
talking about
sorry, man, because
people who've been around for more than, let's say, 4 years.
no,
Have
I
heard
don't
of
think
the
people know about the UNNM with you being as chief. That's a difference.
well, how could they not know if the UNN is putting out videos about me being over the UNNM?
Well, that's why
How,
you
how,
here to explain these things,
no,
brother.
I'm not talking about the explanation, brother. I'm saying you said that nobody knows, but if their organization
No, a lot of
is
people
putting
don't
out,
know. You got 22 million people here
no,
that are
hear what I'm saying.
Africans in this
I never
country.
said
Everybody don't know.
I never said all. I made a distinction. I said those who've been around for a little bit, even went on to say more than 4 years, would know about the UNNM because they knew about me here in Georgia, and they definitely knew about me when they put out the video telling people don't join the UNNM. Now, if they just came in and they're not privy to that information yet, then of course they don't know. But I'm saying the majority of the people who are part of the UN do know. The lawyer
Let's
that's
get back to
helping
your
Pop's case know.
that's all right, cool. So let's get back to your presidential election. Where is it on the website, man? I can't find it.
If you go to our tribe,
Our Yamasi tribe.
Arya Massey tribe, and go down to who is chief, White Buffalo
Go
is
ahead.
there.
Go
It's
down to
right.
which one? Who are Yamasi? Who are Washington? Who was Empress?
No, who is Chief White Buffalo?
All right, hold on. Okay, let me go to the last one. No, this is crucial and important because I don't mind you saying you a chief. That don't faze me at all.
No,
What I'm saying is that, yeah, because you were responsible for your people that elected you. What I'm trying to figure out is when did it go down so people could look at this and read this and go, okay, this man.
It went down in 2011. The same year the brother Azario, look, the ones that's in New York, they know. Now those who are outside of the position of any kind of power or delegation, they may not know.
Yeah,
but
like cats like me. I'm outside of power and all that. I don't know. So my point is,
you may not be privy to certain information, even though you may have been around a decent amount of time. You might not have been maybe you never heard of Chief White Buffalo. Maybe you never heard of the UNN.
No, I haven't. No, I heard of UNNM when Dr. York was president and chief over that. I haven't heard of them as president and chief over that. But the fact that you are today don't faze me. What I'm screaming is, all I want to know is where is your presidential election, and I can't find it. I don't see it on the webpage. I'm here on the page. You said Chief White Buffalo, right?
Right.
The article,
I said that. And it's right there. It's right there in that body. It's in that body of work that you're seeing that you got to go through.
I see Fred Bodie. I'm going by paragraphs. It says Asaro then decides to join the AEO. That summer, Asaro moved back to North Carolina. It is now 2000 year. It is now the year 2011, and the Yamasi tribe of Native Americans, United Nuwau-Pion Nation Moors, is still in disarray. Our holy land gone. Buildings closing. I don't see anything about an election here. I don't see anywhere where
I'm not in front of the screen to be able to grab it for you, but I can assure you it's there. Maybe you won't get it in this moment, but when you get an opportunity,
I have to get it in this moment because this is the key. See, I hinge things on law. I'm gonna take a minute. I have to because now you
finding it there. It's not going to change the fact that it already happened. I'm telling you, it's there though.
You said it says you were nationalized 5/3/11. May 3rd, 2011. That's not a presidential election where I'm talking about where people, your people, in other words, did 1,000 people vote you as president? Did 5,000 people vote you as president? That's what I'm talking about. Who voted you?
And I already told you. I don't know if you're hearing me. I'll try to say it a little slower because maybe I'm speaking too fast.
Yeah, you are. Go ahead.
Okay, in 2011, those within the UNNM selected me as leadership of UNNM. Even though I was doing leadership roles, at that time I didn't have an official title. The titles
Who selected you? How many people selected you?
Well, how many people was unimportant.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it's not important
because if you only have like 3 or 4 people, that's enough. That's like equivalent to being a witness for a document that you have to sign.
I hear what you're saying.
But when you say I hear what you're saying. Listen. When you say a tribe, a nation of people, you talking thousands. Now, how many people voted you in, man? Give me an estimate.
Well, I'm gonna say
I don't see it here on your webpage. I do not see it.
And you're not going to see that on the website.
So it didn't happen, then, did it?
It did happen.
So see, but you don't have proof to back it up, though. As a chief, you don't have the proof to back it up. Not trying to disrespect you, I'm
No, I
just
hear what you're
saying
saying, but I
it's
think you're
not
just going
here
about it.
on this webpage. It's not here.
I hear what you're
I
saying,
can't
but
verify
you
it.
have what you're doing is you're formulating your opinion on how you feel I should have did something, and that's cool.
No, I
You
want
have
to
a
know
right to
how
your
you did it.
opinion, but
I'm
I'm
not
telling you,
formulating. No. I'm not formulating no opinion. I want to know by fact who voted you in, what was the process, and how you
and I
did it,
told
so
you,
people
and I
can shut
told you
up
who
and get
voted
off
me
your
in.
back. Okay, how
Nobody's
many
on my
people
back.
voted you
No,
in?
that's the
How
whole
many
thing.
people
Nobody's on
voted
my
you in?
back. I'm
All right,
here
my fault. That's
simply
my
to
fault.
share.
My fault.
I'm here simply to share to clear up any confusion. You asked me a question.
I see
I
your
get you
family
said
background. I
you
see your
said
family
who?
background, but I don't see your. It says here your father's name, your mother's name. I'm taking it back from the top because I scanned through it.
Right, I
First name,
understand that.
age, all
You might
that.
need a little
I
bit
don't
more
need all
time. It's
that.
a lot of information. It's a lot of information there, but to
Yeah, it
make it
tells your
simple,
background, where you went to school, but it does not say you were voted as president on days thus and such. I ain't that slow. It doesn't say this in here in any of
well,
your
I'm hoping you're
information
not
on
slow at
your
all. But
webpage.
like I'm trying to tell you something, but you're trying to speak over me, so I can't tell you.
Okay, my fault. Go
You
ahead.
asking me a question, so if you're
Yes,
asking me a question, let me give you the answer. You
go
asked
ahead.
me who elected me, and
Yes.
I told you that the people of the UNNM elected me, selected me to be leadership, and I'm still in the leadership position today. Then
How
you
did
asked
they
the
select you?
question.
Did they select you
Then
orally, or did they was it a ballot vote? Did they
there
do
was
it
no
orally, or was it a
there was
ballot
no
vote?
ballot there was no ballot vote.
And there
There was
was,
no
so it was
ballot vote.
orally.
There was nobody dropping information in the box like a well established oil machine government that's been functioning for years. No, this is grassroots. So there was a
So it was
selection.
basically face to face. If you had a group of people around you and they
No,
say,
it
"I
wasn't face to
nominated
face.
you," and
No, it wasn't face to face
oh,
because
so wait a
everybody's.
minute, man, oh, this is
I'm tr-
crazy.
I'm
But
I'm
man,
trying
I'm
to
gonna let you
tell
finish.
you.
Go
I'm
ahead,
trying
go
to
ahead.
tell you, but you're
My
not letting me
fault.
tell you.
My fault. My fault. My
The
fault.
people
Go
of the
ahead.
UNNM from
Mm-hmm.
all over the United States and out to come. We have people in Trinidad and Tobago. We have people in the UK. We have people in Georgia and every state thereof. Even people in New York and New Jersey. All of these people, and those people know who they are, came together on the day when it was brought up for me to be in the position of leadership. Decided that yes, he should be in the position of leadership, and all of those people gave their yay and no nay.
And
And you
there's
want
no
to know,
official count of this.
and
How
you
did you
want to
do
know
it?
the
In
number.
other words, yeah, because it's not making no sense. You said that the people of the UNNM,
It is
that it
making
has to be
sense.
official. And no,
I'm saying
there's
it's
no
making
official
sense, but
record.
you have.
There's no paper trail. You don't have no paper trail.
Let me explain to you why it's not making sense, especially coming from especially
Can you
dealing with a
explain?
guy.
Can you explain to me why there's no paper trail, as
No
well
paper
as the
trail.
other explanation? Yeah, no paper trail to your
I
election.
did
Explain
explain it
that.
to you. I did explain it to you, but
Okay.
again, you're not listening because you
Yeah, because you
formulating an opinion.
confused.
No, I'm
I
not
need
confused.
facts.
I
I
already
don't need
told
no
you.
opinions. You
Right, you
said
asking me a
that the
question.
people of the UNNM voted you in. Is that the truth or not? Yes,
How many
right?
times do I got to answer that same
Okay, you
rhetorical
said
question?
yes. So
It's
that means
rhetorical
that
by this
now,
point.
how did they vote you in? Did they vote you? You said it wasn't by ballot. Was it by
Right.
phone call? Was it by some type of official paperwork or trail got to be there for me to verify that so I can shut up? In other words, I don't see no verification of anybody in the UNNM. Matter of fact, we can ask people in the chat room. There's 4850 people listening. Has anybody voted for Chief Asaru Ankh Amun El to be chief of the UNNM? If you did, type 9 in the chat room. Right, so I can get some confirmation on that. But let's keep moving on.
So, right, I'm trying to give it to you. Like I said, you asked a question.
All right.
And you ask if I already explained to you that we didn't have a ballot, that there was communication sent out internally, because obviously you're not a part of the internal makeup. So anything I'm telling you is going to be somewhat of you trying to accept
over
if
my
what I'm
head
saying
a
is
little bit.
true.
I get you.
No, not even over your head, but you have to make it reason out to see, okay, is this logical? It can happen. Does this make sense? Like I said, those people who know. People who not inside of the government and not inside of the nation, of course they wouldn't know. This is why there's a lot of speculation. So the point I'm telling you is there was an internal communication that went out to all of the members of the UNNM, and that communication was in reference to me being in the position of leadership as chief, as Maku, as Supreme Grand Master of the UNNM, because Dr. York is incarcerated, and we understand that the government must keep moving forward if we plan to be a government. And inside of the Constitution itself, it states that the government is not valid until the positions have been filled or that leadership has been introduced to get the government functioning. This is in the Constitution. But again, if I'm talking to individuals who don't know because they don't know the Constitution, then it's kind of like a lecture at this point. So I'm trying to get it to where it makes sense, that which can make sense. And you talk about 2011 when we was first kind of starting. You know, it was a bunch of ideas. So a lot of things that we have in place today wasn't in place then. It's kind of like the same. That's why I brought up Dr. York. There is no ballot for Dr. York being chief of the UNNM, other than the verbal selection and agreement that yes, he is the leadership.
All right, hold on 1 second.
Hold on.
We can bet. Hold on 1 second. If anybody's in the chat room, for those of you who vote for Dr. York as your president, type 9 in the chat room. All right, we can start with that right there. But go ahead, continue.
Right. Now when you like you said, when you say vote how? Vote with a ballot? Vote by saying, oh, well, that's just my chief? You know, there's more than one way to do a vote. It don't have to be formal in the form of paperwork, especially when you starting off something. And I'm saying a lot of people, include myself, acknowledge Dr. York not only as Supreme Grand Master, but Maku of the Yamasee Tribe of Native American Shoshone-Washita Creek Mound Builders. And I didn't have to fill out a ballot to do it.
It's all good. All right, before I open up the floor for question and answers, well, I'm gonna let other people ask you some questions, right? Because you know you knowledgeable what you own. But one last question before I let you go. According to your culture, right, and your calendar and your culture, what's today's Nuwau-Pion date?
You got me though.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm waiting for the question.
Today? What the question was, according to your culture, what is today's date? Nuwau-Pion date.
According to what culture?
Your culture, the Nuwau-Pion culture, your United Nation, Nuwau-Pion Nation, yeah, your tribal culture. What's today's date? How do you keep your calendar? Is what I'm asking. What's today's date?
Well, there's different dates. If you mean by the Nuwau-Pion calendar, what's the date? I don't know.
Your calendar date for your tribe. What's the date?
Well, we have multiple calendars for our tribe. Most of us work by the Gregorian calendar, and those who know the Nuwau-Pion calendar know the Nuwau-Pion calendar. But I just told you I don't know the date. I just told you. I don't know. I don't know the day's date in the Nuwau-Pion calendar. I do have a Nuwau-Pion calendar that's on my wall, and I could get that information to you if I got back on the land, but I don't know it. I didn't even look at the calendar.
Good. Okay, but as a president, it would be wise to know today's
well, I know enough. So I know enough to navigate. Well, I know enough to navigate. Most of the people know the Gregorian calendar.
So,
just like most of the people
how would
know
you know
English.
When to celebrate festivals in your Nuwau-Pion calendar and you don't know your culture as a chief?
No. To say I don't know the culture because I don't know a calendar date would be misinformed.
I'm not saying that. I didn't say that. I just asked.
Well, I'm gonna let it go. You pretty much said that. But what I'm telling you, I answered the question. I don't know the day's date in the Nuwau-Pion calendar.
It's all good.
But I also not
the Nuwau-Pion calendar. In your calendar, you don't know today's date.
No, because if you asking me, you gotta be talking about the Nuwau-Pion calendar.
I'm asking you, and it's your calendar. You're the president. You're the chief. So according to your calendar, you don't know the date. It's
no,
okay.
that's not what I said. Let me say it again for you. I'm gonna say
answer. What is the date?
Today is July 8th. That's why I told you
that's Gregorian.
I understand that. See, I understand that.
The Nuwau-Pion date. What is the Nuwau-Pion date, fam? Well, give it to me.
I just told you I didn't know. Okay, so we established that. I don't know. I don't know everything. Believe it or not, I don't know everything. So I don't know today's date in the Gregorian in the Nuwau-Pion calendar, which has nothing to do with anything other than I don't know the day of the Nuwau-Pion calendar.
Because your people now are not on another time zone and they own frequency. if you don't know your own date, your own tones, your own culture, and your own language and stuff like that, we still, even myself, I'm still
I hear
subject
what
to
you're
these 60
saying.
reports.
I
But
hear
that's
what you're
another
saying.
subject. But I was gonna go somewhere
right now.
with it.
Now
But
we getting into other things. I get what you're saying
yeah,
though.
because
Like I
that's
said, I
chiefly
do know.
responsible.
Like I said, I do have a calendar.
It's
And
all good.
had I been on the land at the office, I could have recited that to you. But I don't know. It's
It's
people
all
who know the
good.
Gregorian. It's people who know the Gregorian calendar. And if you catch them at the right time, they don't know what day it is. Damn, is it Thursday or is it
I'll go
Friday?
there.
You know, I don't know. But that has nothing to do with them having the ability to navigate and get things done. So, like I said, I do not know
It
everything.
depends. Most of the
I
people
don't
that you're
got a
profess.
asking
question.
aren't responsible. But we gonna open the floor for question and time on.
I
Go
don't
ahead,
profess to
man.
know
But I'm
everything.
running. You good, bro.
Go
You
ahead.
good, family. I feel. I still respect you because you say your name is Chief Asaru Ankel. I'm not gonna bang and disrespect you on that. What I'm saying is that your nation is different from the United Nuwau-Pion Nation, and I don't have a problem with that because I want to know tomorrow night on Monday when they air this documentary out, does that affect us? Does it affects us all? I don't have to ask that question. But nevertheless, anybody got any questions?
I got a question. As
Okay.
the chief of the UNNM and Malachi Z. York being the Supreme Grand Master and head chief or big chief, what have you done to get him out? And if you haven't done, I mean, beside what you said before, why haven't you done anything else? Because you said that they stopped working with you. I guess you turned your back on it. But why haven't you done anything else to get him out, being that you're in that position? Because you're saying you're chief of the UNNM, and you're saying that you have a government. Why has not your government issued a writ to the proper venue to get the brother out?
We haven't issued anything from the UNNM in reference to Dr. York because the moment we do, the devils that be will say, see, this is the reason why Dr. York can't get out. Chief Asaru is doing things that's messing up what we're doing to get him out. So the question was, what have I done? I've done the same thing everybody else has done. I've given money to the people who are in the proper position that's appointed by him himself, him being Maku Chief Black Eagle, to help him with his case. And that's all I could do. So when they made the statements that I was doing business in Dr. York's name, which was untrue, because they said that too. They said that I had paperwork with Dr. York's signature on it, which was not true. So they was confusing me with some other people. We've never did anything in Dr. York's name. The only time Dr. York come up is as the founder of our nation. There's
So
no reason to use
as
There's
the
no reason
founder
to
of
use his
your
name for
nation,
anything else. Yeah,
as
he's
the
the founder
founder
of
of
the
your
United
nation,
Wabi Nation of Moors.
as the founder of your nation, and being
Mm-hmm.
that the people who you contributed money to, you're kind of like now saying that they haven't been doing the right thing. At what point in time are you gonna not go by what they say and do the right thing if you know what it is? If you're not a navigating government, what is the right thing to do to get them out, and what should you do next to get
Yeah,
them out?
the right thing to do, and the right thing to do is to be patient. That's the right thing for me to do. Is to let everybody else exhaust all their expertise and know-how. And once all of their expertise and know-how is exhausted, then maybe the UNNM could be of some assistance. This is the reason why
But you're
they
not
started.
sure.
This is the reason why they started the UNN. They started the UNN to say that this is the government. They're saying that Dr. York, who name can be found in not only our Declaration of Independence, but also our Constitution. They saying that the same guy who put forth the UNNM Constitution is not the president of the UNNM, but somehow the president of the UNN. Something that he never put pen to paper for. So, like I said, what we've done is when people call us, because there's people that called us wanted to give money to help Dr. York with his case. I said, look, we don't accept money on behalf of Dr. York for his case. If you want to put money on his books, you can go right onto the Supermax website, and they give you the proper channels on how you can put money on his books. If you want to give money to his case, reach out to his attorney. Well, which attorney? Well, get with the Nuwau-Pions because they all have a different idea of who's working on this case, whether it be in Liberia, Ghana, the U.S., etc. Get with them, and they'll let you know. If one thing I know they'll do is they'll tell you where to put the money. But we don't take money on behalf of Dr. York and his case. Now, if you want to help the
That's good.
UNNM and its growth, and helping us to acquire land and resources, things that we need as a community, then you can do that. But if it's for Dr. York, we don't accept money for Dr. York.
So
And we haven't
basically, like I was
accepted any
saying,
money for Dr. York.
that's cool. That's fair. So basically, like I was saying, you are responsible for your own nation of people, correct?
Yeah, I'm responsible for the United Nuwau-Pion Nation of Moors. Absolutely.
That's fine. Are there any other questions in the chat room, family? Any other questions? Moon, you got any more questions, man? Because we get ready to get out of here, man. Go ahead. You can ask. I don't want to grill a man. You know what I'm saying? Because he can't. He stepped up like a man. He stated his position. I asked my questions. I don't have no problem with the man being chief of the United Nuwau-Pion Nation of Moors. That's his thing. I'm just saying
did I answer the other brother's question? Did the brother get clarity that he had?
Yes, I got clarity. If I don't know about him, but I got clarity. Yes, I did.
Well,
I kind of want to know as a chief.
Well, one more question, man. One more question, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, as a chief, and you saying you head of a government, and as a chief, you saying to be patient, like a Sabora religion or something. I mean, in government, we don't be patient, and one of your members or your main chief is being done wrong, you got a solution. So really, you saying you really ain't got no solution because you want to be patient. You're gonna try something when somebody else exhausts everything.
I don't think that's what he's saying. He's saying that because
I'm just trying to find out what besides being patient as a government, what would you execute? What's the next step? What document or what step or action in the court would you take? What venue would you take it in to get him out?
And that's what I'm saying. We have some answers to that, but this is not the proper channel. It's not for me to put that over the airwaves.
That's agreed.
It's a secret or something? Is it a secret?
I have a question.
That's agreed. I agree with what Uncle L just said. I agree. I agree with that. That's fair. Go ahead, Asara.
That's
for me or Atal?
No, I have a question for Asara.
All right, go ahead.
That's too soft, man. That's, see, we accepting some bullshit.
No. Hold on, let's just be fair, man. That's his answer, man. But whatever, man. Calm down, man. Asaru had a question. I want to hear the question, man. Go ahead.
Chief Asaru, as president of the United Nuwau-Pion Nation of Moors, what have you done?
What have you done for what?
What have you done for the people? I'm sorry, it broke up. I was breaking up. My bad.
Okay.
Well, there's a lot I've done for the people. One, I've given them land to be a community again. I've reestablished their government for them, those who accept the government as put forth by Dr. Malachi Z. York on behalf of the United Nuwau-Pion Nation of Moors. And we've been building ever since.
Stop. You can't say that.
I can't say what?
You can give the credit to Spaulding who wrote the Constitution, but did Dr. Malachi Z. York sign your Constitution to establish your nation? I'm talking about the one you wrote. No, he didn't. So you can't say that.
The same one.
No, what I'm talking about as far as filing the paperwork to establish his nation, the United Nuwau-Pion Nation of Moors, you can't just put Dr. York's name on that because he didn't do it. You did it. What I'm saying to people is that
you put the Constitution on the record.
I told him, let me finish, man. I'm saying he got the right to do what he did. What I'm saying is that instead of people just trying to attach him to Dr. York, no, he stand on the merit on his own 2 feet as his own chief of his own nation. That's what I'm screaming. You can't attach Dr. York.
I'm there. I hear what you say. I hear what you're saying, but
there it is.
I am a part. I respect your opinion, but I don't know if you respected mine. So let me say it again. Dr. York only wrote one Declaration of Independence and one Constitution, and that was for the UNN. I'm a proud Nuwaubian Moor, as forth that he put forth. That's who we are as a people, and it's outlined in the first statute of the Constitution entitled "Truth," claiming who we are as a people. Okay, let me finish. Who we are as a people. What our culture is and what our language is. He established that in the first statute entitled Truth. And before he gets to truth, he said this is what we must have. He didn't say this was an option. He said this is what we must have. And I agree with Chief, because even as a chief, I still see Chief as my chief. It was never about supplanting myself in his place. It's the fact that he's not here and the nation must go on. and we've been moving
Only
forward
thing
since
that
2000, since 2011. So because he
only thing
wrote the
I have
Constitution for,
that would only thing I
you can get
have
it
that
out.
would
I'm wrapping it
yeah.
up. I ain't gonna be long.
I'm saying
The
only thing I
only
have
reason
in dispute against that is that your vote wasn't verified. But go ahead though. How you got in there?
right,
How you became a chief? I'm one of the kids in the masses, and I'm part of the at that time in 2011 was around, so I never heard of you till just
I understand.
recently. But go ahead, let me
No,
let
I
you finish
got you.
though.
But you also established that you was one of the people who didn't have any delegation power, and you wasn't any official capacity with the government or
Neither was
the
anybody
idea
else,
of the
according to
government.
you. In
No,
2011, you said there was no officials.
there wasn't, and there still isn't. The point I'm making is there
Okay.
still was a group of people who was considered to be the administration, and
But
I was in
now it
touch with
should be
that.
officials because you said it should be officials now, unless you as a chief didn't appoint any. Because now you're the president, you're the chief of the UNNM. Do you have any officials?
Of course, we got officials, and they on our website.
So then, therefore, if you speaking for the UNNM, you do have officials. Well, we're not a part of the UNNM, so you
Well, you
can't
already
say what we
established.
have or what we don't have.
No, I can say
You
that because
follow?
it's not there. I can say it because it's not there. They're on the UNN Embassy's website, which is the only government site that they have out there.
Right.
On that website, there is nothing other than shopping carts that buy identification and pictures of people
Well, maybe we like you.
in the
Maybe
crowd.
we don't have. Well, maybe we like you. Just like things aren't to be discussed as far as your
No,
plan
I
for the
get
master
that.
teacher's freedom. Maybe ours for the nation ain't meant to be up on a website in the form of a shopping cart.
No, I get that.
Would you
But the
say
point
that's
I'm
fair?
making is
Okay, that's fair. That's all I needed. Okay, go ahead.
no, that's I'm not saying it's fair. What I'm saying is if you're saying that you have a government, see, we
Right.
saying we a government and we are recognized as the government, even in the state of Georgia. There's things that we have that we could put out there if we were just really trying to just be arrogant and egotistical, which I always try to keep people to calm it down. Because a lot of people want to be boastful and prideful, but it's not about a battle. See,
Right.
in a discussion, the goal is to see what is right in a discussion. In an argument, somebody wants to be right. I don't want to be right. I want to talk about what is right. I acknowledge the fact that I understand, according to the Constitution, Malachi Z. York should have did a lot of stuff according to the Constitution, but he wasn't here. He was incarcerated. And the people that was here wasn't doing nothing in the form of the UNNM government, which is what he established for us. And instead
So
of
you
them
took it
doing that,
upon yourself to fulfill
no, I
those
didn't.
things that
That's
were
what
lacking.
and that's what I was trying to share with you earlier. I didn't take it
Okay.
upon myself. I started working
Okay.
as a Nuwau-Pion, because this is my government, and anybody who feels they're Nuwau-Pion more has a right to come forward to preserve their way of life. That's why there's a statute in there that said that you would protect the United Nuwau-Pion Nation Moors against all enemies, foreign and domestic. So rather people feel like you try to do something on your own or not, the bottom line is I did go through the proper channels at the time to try to establish something for us, and not just what the people who was a part of the administration then. There's been even the brother that's up in Canada that's teaching people about the SF-181 form, teaching people that he's a government, but sending them to another government to get paperwork from them. I had a conversation with him before, at the time when he was calling himself the Oxyhata Clan, and I asked
Right.
him what was he willing to do to help reestablish the government, and he said that it couldn't be done. Everybody was saying it couldn't be done, but then now that it's done and we hear, now they're like, oh, well, who appointed you? It's kind of like a lecture Doc did when he said it wasn't the information, it was him. They had a problem with him. They don't have a problem with what they see. What they see, like, damn, this shit makes sense. This is how it's supposed to be. But then they're like, but this guy right here, what made him qualified? Who made him the man? What made him the chosen one? That's the problem that they have. And the people who got that problem got internal issues, whoever those individuals may be, because they keep looking at me. I'm not an individual. I represent a collective. I come before you today as an individual, but I represent the collective body of the UNNM.
Which
And
is
those
in
who
I got you. I feel what you're saying. Well, I'm letting you know that that's all. It's good. That's as far we gonna go today, family, because I got to get out of here, man. But I enjoyed talking to you. It doesn't sound. See, when you talk to somebody in person, it don't sound as bad as it do over a little internet thing. But yeah, it was all good. You too, Tahuti. Because now I know where you come from. Don't associate you with Asataka Nation. Gotcha.
Nah,
All right.
well, he
Any
was about to
final
go. He
words?
was about to. He was
Oh,
about to
well, go
go
ahead.
down
Go
that
ahead.
path, but I was able to. I was able to convince him that that wasn't the path that he needed to go down. Not because I forced some stuff on him. I just showed him some stuff, and he looked at it
It's all
himself.
good.
And he's like, "Oh man, you know, this is not what I need."
It's all good. Tamun, you in the house, man?
Yeah, man. I wanted to
Any
know.
final words? Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
what does the chief got to say when Baba made the statement to shut that operation down?
Right.
And why do you think
I released several videos on that, but I'll restate it again. If you go to UNNM.org and you go to want to say, I think it's under updates, and then there's videos. It was several videos I did from on the land addressing the propaganda video where they got Dr. York on the audio saying shut it down. The whole reason why he was even saying shut it down is because they went to him with information that wasn't correct. They went to him with, and first of all, they didn't even start the whole conversation off. It picks up what he said was, who is the guy? They don't know my name. They're telling Chief that I said he appointed me as Chief, and they know I never said that. Nowhere can anybody ever show where I said that I'm gonna even make it clear here. Dr. Malachi Z. York never appointed me to do nothing. I saw what needed to be done. I started to do it, and those who saw that what I was doing was right joined in on the action. There's
That's
no
quite clear.
delegation for doing the right thing. Nobody have to tell you to do the right thing. Either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. There's always going to be some kind of scrutiny as to how dare you, who told you. I mean, I was willing to deal with that. Like even today, I could stand before Malachi Z. York if need be with what I did for the community on the table for him to see. I have no problem standing before him if I had to do
So
that.
what's the next right
But
thing to do? Why we got to be patient for the next right thing to do? I'm asking you what's the next right thing to do, since you know. That's what I'm asking you. You talking about be patient.
He said that's not on the table for discussion over the internet.
That should be the number one thing. The priority should be getting him out for the past.
But not, I agree, but not, he said don't discuss it over the internet. I'm gonna respect that. Now, my thing is that Chief, before we let you go, but go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's always been about getting Dr. York out if we could get him out. Even the UNN has been working to get him out, and he's still not out. So it's not like I got some kind of special powers to get him out of a maximum security prison situation. It was certain information that was brought to the masses, especially those who don't have no position of authority, who have to accept the leadership that may be before them, whether it's from the UNN or from the UNNM, on what is being done. Some people find it agreeable, some people find it disagreeable. But what we do know is that the UNN now and the previous administration before has been working to get him out for about 17 years and to no avail. Now, does that mean he'll never come home? I hope not. But we know they've been working on it specifically, day in and day out, collecting money from everybody about what they need to do, petitions and Obama, even though I put out information about why that wouldn't work because it's already been rejected. And they said, oh, no, it's going to work and blah, 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 because it was about collecting money. But that's something totally different. What is known is they've been working to get him out for 17 years. And he ain't came home yet.
You never met the master teacher face to face? You never seen him before? You never talked to him by yourself?
I've never talked to him.
You never talked to him. You never met him, and you
never met him. Never talked to him. I only met him in spirit through the information.
It's all good. So that means that now, even as the president of the United Nuwau-Pion Nation of Moors, you still don't have the power to go see him right now?
Nobody has the power to go see him if they're not on the visitation list. And the United States government determines who is on that list.
Okay. That's facts. Okay. So with that being said, family, we out, man. I appreciate y'all coming through. I'm gonna change the title to the show because I didn't know who was coming on, and I'm not a disrespectful person. We'll address you properly. All right. So with that being said, family, tomorrow night, we all should be in tune to that. What's coming on with the what is it, A&E on the Discovery Channel, the cult thing, not in Nuwau-Pion Nation Mode. We're gonna see what's up with that, and we'll be back on Tuesday for for people to call in and chime in and let us know what you think about that. So with that being said, family, oh, by the way, it is the 13th day, right, of month 1. All right, out of a 19-day calendar. Some people use the 15-day calendar, but that's the moon cycle date. All right, so with that being said, family, Ba'o Nahut, Wadu, y'all have a good day.
Wadu, Yasa.
Wadu, brothers.
See, I want still Bill. Asa, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm trying to figure out how to hang up. I don't do this stuff. So I'm like, I need to find this app.
I don't
Just
know
to
how to
hang
hang
up.
up out. Hey, you still in touch with Bodie? Fred Bodie?
Well, I haven't been in touch with Fred for
Okay, yeah. I just spoke to him the other night. He the first one kind of brought you to my attention. You know what I'm saying?
well,
He was
Fred
asking
Bodie.
me.
Fred Bodie is the only reason why I even consider myself to be a Nuwau-Pion. If it wasn't for me talking to him at the time when his sister kicked out a brother to come stay with us, I would have never even considered joining the nation. You know, I've been in contact with people in the nation, Trine, Bun. Bun is the one who walked me through the AAO, etc. But the point I'm making is the Fred Bodie, very dear brother to me. I haven't spoken to him in many years, but his father is with us. Fred Bodie's father, Ronnie Bodie, the elder Bodie, Shriner
Noble
Bodie.
Bodie?
Yeah, Noble Bodie. He's with us. He's joined the UNNM and other elders from the previous administration. So I'm not just some guy who just, got the ability to confuse people. You're not going to confuse somebody like Elder Bodie, who's walked
That's
with
a
the
true
master
thing.
teacher, who's been in the shrine, been in the house. He know what's right and what's not right. And he could speak for me out of his own mouth. Like most of the people who would prefer to do it, but I don't like people to get into arguments. Like I said, it's not about me. It's about what's right. If they remove me from the equation, they just look at what's being done. They realize what we're doing, they're not doing. They say we're a nation, but they don't have no land. They say they're a nation, but they don't have no capital. All they have is an email in the P.O. box in Philly and scattered buildings throughout the United States that was acquired under the previous administration of Dr. York himself. So it's not like they did anything special. Everything that he left them in charge of, they squandered.
But from your standpoint, being a chief and having a functioning government, you can't issue certain writs from your court that they're gonna have to abide by. And if you issue the proper writ dealing with the financial aspect as your chief or your head chief being traded under a different name, you can get him out. I'm trying to get people to do the
There's
false.
different things that can be done, but how he's written on our paperwork is not how he's written on their paperwork.
Well, he's written as Dwight York in their paperwork, but it don't matter what paperwork, because when he went to jail under the UNNM.
He was a part of the UNNM, but the UNNM wasn't like when they did the RICO. The RICO was RICO was for business. There was no business incorporated as UNNM.
Because it was a nation.
Right, it's a nation. So there is no RICO statute that can be a detriment to him under the UNNM, because there was no company founded under the UNNM where they said that the money was being laundered to.
What Bunch told me is that there's gonna make the claim because of that fact that it wasn't registered. It was gonna make that kingpin claim as far as adding on charges to his year. I don't believe it, but I think they did, or the FBI gave people that notion just to scare them.
The FBI didn't do anything. The people who was calling themselves Nuwau-Pions was doing it. They was doing all the scaring. The bottom line is RICO is very specific, and everything
that might be the same
under the
RICO. That might be the same. What I'm saying is, you gotta remember, Baba said the spy's still up there.
No, what I'm saying is what's public information. So let's eliminate the people who are misleading people, and let's just get to the facts. The fact is, Dr. York's case is public. His RICO
and it's being traded.
His RICO and Mann Act is public, and under the RICO, there are organizations listed, and the UNNM is not one. You know why? Because it's not a company. They can only attach it to things that he was using as a business to say that it was RICO anyway. Like, you know, like Holy Seed Baptist Church or All Eyes on Egypt. Those types of things. Those are companies. Those are LLCs. The UNN that they call it a nation is a corporation. Now they saying they're a nation, but they got it incorporated. And that's also listed on our website for the world to see that they incorporated out of the state of Georgia, and they got some in New York. And it literally says UNN, comma, United Nuwau-Pion Nation.